Hello, hello, hello. It is uh, not actually this day, but recording for day 61 of 365 days of my raw suspending disbelief journey um, for June 22nd, 2024. So, the Saturday after the events with my daughter's father being drinking and driving and all of these things. Also, the Saturday of my two younger children's joint birthday party. And I think just the combo of that intro is probably enough to say that this day could go a whole hell of a lot all over the place, right? So, um, started out on track, everything was okay, and we were getting ready to go. And the night before, my oldest dad, had said that he would be better off to come to the birthday party with us and just sit and be there, because then he wouldn't be as likely to fall into a depressive funk kind of thing, which is where uh, suicidal thoughts and things start coming up. And trigger warning, I'm going to put them all over the show notes. I'm sorry, you guys. These are just such a verbal dump, like a journal entry, that I don't think about it. I should try to be more cognizant of that. I will try to be more cognizant of that. So trigger warnings for suicidal ideation, for alcoholism, all the things. So and detoxing. I'm not sure what all should be trigger warned. So, okay. He had said that he should come along so that he didn't get into depression. And so I had planned to wake him up, if he wasn't awake by a certain time before it was time to leave so that he could get ready. Um, and when that time came around, uh, I sent my daughter down and just said, hey, like, go make sure he's up and tell him that we have this much time left. And she came back up just saying that he wasn't going to come. And I was going, why? Because he specifically said that that would be better. So let's get this figured out. And he ended up telling me that he was too sick. He was shaking like a leaf, right? A lot of like really very hard tremors, convulsions, just very very rough um looking. You could visibly see it. So I understood that he didn't want to come to the birthday party, but was a little bit concerned about leaving him alone. And when I mentioned that, he said, it's fine. I'm going to be leaving. I'm going to go back into detox, and uh, that his ex was going to be coming in and picking him up to take him there. And um, so then I was frustrated because, as much as I understood him not coming to the birthday party, and not being available for that because of how he was feeling, I also was pretty upset that he was just going to take off while we were gone. And my daughter wouldn't get a chance to say goodbye to her dad because she was supposed to be coming to this birthday party, and um, all of the things. So after a little bit of discussion, we came to an agreement that Cadence, my oldest, would go for the drive down back to where he's from to take him down to the detox center. His ex would be the one driving, and they would, head down and do that. So they were going to come and pick Cadence up partway through the birthday party after the, snacks and cake and presents part of the thing in the room, by the time that we would be heading in to go swimming. And so they weren't there. All of a sudden, he was saying there was a miscommunication, that they were going to be a little bit longer. Originally, they were supposed to pick her up when I was still not in the swimming pool. So I was like, okay, well, I guess then we're not going to get to have the little chat we were supposed to have, but okay. So they were supposed to pick her up, and we were in the pool, and my daughter got a call from her father's ex saying that he was in and out of consciousness, that she had called an ambulance, and all of these things. So they weren't coming to pick my daughter up, and all of a sudden she was waving me down, and I went up to the seating area or whatever, and she was kind of burst into tears a little bit and was going, I can't go see my dad because he's like she was saying, I can't go say goodbye to him, and she was really upset, right? And so I got the story out of her finally, and then I was confused and frustrated because I'm in the middle of my children's swimming birthday party and going, what do I do? What am I supposed to do right now? Um, and I had previously decided that he was not going to drag my life down with his, that he was not going to ruin my children's lives, that he was not going to, like, if he was going to do these things, as much as I care and as much as I don't ever want to see um him fail, in a sense, that it's not on me, it's not up to me to hold that, to be in control of that, and all of this. So I had that self discussion, right, in the past, and um I so I was going, like, I'm not going to cancel the birthday party. I'm not going to just like drag everybody out of the pool right now and go running. um I did step out of the pool for a little bit to make the phone call, find out what was going on. It turned out that when his ex had come to pick him up, everything had been okay. He was really shaky and stuff, but they got loaded up, and just as they were leaving town, he had a seizure in the car, which turns out to be a symptom of detoxing, and can be very dangerous, right? So, um, yeah, he had a seizure. She was terrified. She called an ambulance. It actually took quite a while for the ambulance to come, I guess, which is one of the reasons they were so late. Um, and he was in and out of consciousness, and she was terrified, and Cadence was terrified, and all of these things. So kind of did some calming. And I did say that, like, once you guys figure out where he's going to be, we'll come after the birthday party. I will bring Cadence. But that I wasn't going to cut the party short because, first of all, they didn't even know where they were going to go, what hospital they were headed to, and all of these things. So, um, it was just really hard. It was hard to continue the birthday party and have my oldest there, not able to join in the swimming because she hadn't been planning to swim. So she didn't bring a bathing suit, because she was going to be leaving. And she's sitting on the sidelines upset. And I'm trying to still engage with the kids who are at the party, the other adults who are at the party, still let my kids have their birthday party that they were excited to have, and because they have no concept about any of what is going on. So yeah, it was very upsetting, to say the least. Um, he ended up having multiple seizures. He was in the hospital. He still had a seizure in the hospital. And eventually, after the birthday party and everything was finished, my daughter and I went, and I sent the younger kids with my ex with their dad, and I took her to the hospital to go see him. And then we arranged that she would drive down with them when he was released from the hospital, because they weren't going to be keeping him. They just gave him some medications to tide him over, and they were still going to drive down that day and go. They were actually going to get a hotel that night, and then because he had to be at detox at a certain time in the morning. Um, So going off of previous decisions that he and I had made together when he was sober, we had decided that Cadence needed to be aware of the things that were happening with him because it's her father and because it's um I believe in honesty and transparency with my kids so that they are not coming up with, their own explanations for things in their heads, which is, one of the biggest reasons for a lot of my past limiting beliefs, a lot of my past misunderstandings of events that happened as I was a child and all of these things, because nobody as an adult ever took the time to explain things to me. So and it's common, right? That's not in a way of saying that anything about my parents or anything like that. It was just that um, all of the adults in my life when I was a child did not think that children needed and not even like a conscious thought, but even subconsciously just did not think that children needed explanations. And so I know firsthand that from a child's perspective, without the explanations, you come up with your own explanations, and usually they're wrong. And it takes a lot of work later on in life to unravel all of those misunderstandings, from having to come up with your own explanations. So, as much as I knew it was going to be very hard for her, I also knew that I would be there to help her through it, that I would be able to, um, I would work with her to work through and process everything that she did see or hear or learn about after the fact. And things like we definitely will be setting up therapy and all of these kinds of things so that she's fully supported. But yeah, that has been the decision. So she was going to go down, take him into detox so that she could say bye. Because after detox, he was planning probably to go back to rehab, and we didn't know how long it would be till she would see him again. So that was that. And then I picked up the littles and my son's friend, and I took some deep breaths and went, okay, I received messages the other day, regarding my business and my life and needing to play and needing to, take that time for that energy. And I did do that with the party, but not fully because I didn't know if he was safe and my daughter was freaking out and all of these things. So after picking the kids up and my son's friend, we went, it was a little bit late, but we went, it was gorgeous out. We went to the park. We went and played on the playground and played with their new toys that they had gotten for their birthdays, and just really let it be fun for the rest of the night and just let it be easier and more flowy, and let the kids dictate to an extent what happened, and allowed myself to unwind in that way, and that was very helpful. And having, again, this lens that I'm looking at everything through, um, I can very confidently say that I handled the whole thing completely differently than I ever would have in the past. And that I think I managed to handle it with grace and compassion while still maintaining my boundaries, as far as my family was concerned. And even though it was slightly impossible to kind of make it so that everybody was satisfied, and that's kind of always the thing, right? Is we always try to make everybody happy, but we can't. And accepting that and making my decisions without trying to make everybody happy, um, worked a lot better for me, I guess is my point. So uh, it was an extreme instance of leaning into the trust of being exactly where I was supposed to be, and that I didn't need to drop everything and run. Um, choosing to still be present and, try to maintain the energy for my younger children for their birthday party is, again, choosing to feel what I want to create. I wanted to create a memory for them and not have it be tainted with this event. And I think I did that. I managed it. And all of this, very, very frustrating as it was, very stressful, all of it is still, um, even in the moment, even on the actual day of, it was still just, I was very able to perceive it through that lens, right? To remember that I'm suspending disbelief, that this is all going to be okay, that everything is working exactly how it's supposed to be, that I can't control this anyways. And um my success is not just in my business. My success is in the joy of my life and in the day-to-day happiness and day-to-day trust in myself and the day-to-day feelings that we are all experiencing, and being a leader and allowing myself that that full that full trust that I am a leader of myself, of my family, of my community, of uh and my physical community and my online community and in the world. And that because I am a leader, that I am looking through every lens, or every scenario through that lens, that I am making decisions based on the fact that other people are following that other people are learning from that other people are affected by my decisions, which they are. And also knowing that I still need to make my decisions through my own lens, through my own needs and desires and all of that, but also knowing that there is a little bit of accountability to it, that being a leader is not something that you turn off just because your personal life is blowing up. Um, it's something that you just are 24/7. And so when you have to make big hard choices, you're making them through that lens of leadership and of setting an example for, what's ideal here, what is the best way to maneuver a really fucking hard situation. And it was a really fucking hard situation. I will not lie about that. It was really tough. And I didn't have a meltdown throughout it, but I also didn't suppress my emotions. I just was able to, um, delegate them to appropriate times, I guess, or to release them through the appropriate outlets and all of that. So, uh, again, similar outcome to yesterday's episode of everything worked out as good as it could have for the situation. The situation was not ideal. Things were not perfect, all of that, but it was in the end okay, because I trusted myself to shift with the changes, to roll with everything that was coming up, and because I trusted myself to make executive decisions on things that were hard to decide on. And because I trusted myself that I was safe to continue to suspend disbelief that I'm exactly where I need to be. And and knowing that I could trust myself and that it was safe to still experience joy in my life, even though everyone in the world wasn't happy, right? Even though everyone in the world wasn't safe, healthy, and happy, I'm still allowed to have those moments with my family. And that is, when you say it out loud, it sounds so logical, but um for someone like myself who has previously, up until very recently, always wanted to be in control, in the sense of helping everybody and thinking that I could save everybody, it's big strides. So that is what I've got for you guys today, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.